used to love me like a sister. You used to hold me like a friend. We used to share a master bed. And we used to...
Hello, everybody, and today we are going to be talking about interdependence and codependence and different aspects of these things and things me and sis have been through. So come on in and join us and let's talk.
Let's talk. So me and sis Star yesterday, we were talking about what interdependence versus codependence look like, especially in like different types of relationships, especially generational and everything. And wanted to share that what we were talking about. And I do want to say, the reason why I was thinking of this topic, and Sister I mentioned that I went to it was like a retreat, not necessarily a retreat, but it was an event, an event called, New Love Life event. And basically this event was for not just couples, but singles could come as well, where you tap into understanding your love within. And if you don't mind, I would love to shout out those who invited us, for me to come and everything, Brother Yosef and Drea as well, and Dreamwise. Thank you for that experience, because I learned a lot of differences based off of the generations of different types of couples, how they view independence and codependence within the relationship. And I think people get those mixed up. And I would say they mentioned at one point about some people rely, as far as codependence, their understanding of codependence is, I need this person, I need this, I need that. Now, I remember in one of my relationships where I would say there was a point where I had some codependency tendencies myself, but it wasn't more so that I was the person that, needing something like material wise, but more so spiritual, if that makes sense. I would always pick a partner that I knew that I felt that I could help in that sense, if that makes sense, sis. I would be like very codependent on those type of partners, and I had to learn that.
If you understand, like I understand, that's all part of our planetary placements as well. Being codependent is, some people don't, you have to be able to see it in order to change it, but some people came in to be codependent at first. Your relationship is a reflection of you, and I don't care what side of the house it is, the person who is the one that's reflecting on the relationship, if you make it about the other person, you learn nothing.
That is definitely true.
So the fact that you can come up here and say, I see this, I see that I had this, and this was something that, I did, versus the other person, because we're also used to seeing other people point the finger. Right there is a step in the right direction. I think a lot of us can learn from that.
So, I was taking, if I really want to elevate like I say I want to, I really have to sit with myself and hold myself accountable. I did that shit. And I want to use that experience for my experience, for anyone else. Okay, she got up there, she sat down, she actually, stripped down the layers, and she saw that within herself in a relationship. And then after that, when I'm not in a relationship, what is it that I'm codependent on that I substitute for that when I'm just by myself? Because I don't want this to be lingering around. And then that's when I understood my attachment to food and stuff like that. It was more so now, I'm alone now. I have to, give me what I need. And it became an emotional attachment as well.
So more like an addiction.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. So it was one of the many things that I, had to detach from, fast from, which is why I wanted to get up here and share that. Now, I do want to ask this, because I strongly believe, some of these are things that we see when we grow up in our household. Say, for instance, like we mentioned, some children see different forms of love
So
in your household.
once again, everything that you've learned in your lifetime, according and also conjuncting with your planets, you were supposed to see that in your lifetime. You were supposed to go through those things. So yes, we are what's the word? Programmed, conditioned. Those are the words that are being used. But when you go and look at somebody's chart, family imprint is all in there.
Very much so.
Family imprint is all in there. It's in your houses, it's in your planets, it's all in there. So the family that you came into showed you everything that you were supposed to be able to experience, as well as for you to be able to grow and learn that, yes, this is an experience that I had, and it was one that I was supposed to go through, but I'm not supposed to drag it through my life with me.
So, sis.
So yes, they did see it as kids.
Very much so. Well, with this, Sis Star, because I haven't been married before, but I have. Well, you know what? I've learned, I'm going to say this, guys. Since being on this journey, I have a different perspective of marriage. So if I go nature's way of marriage, then yes, I've been married. But if I, go the other way, no, I have not. And,
So you've never been married on paper?
Yes.
I got it.
And how in a marriage, how did you find the interdependence if that was there to keep the balance?
So let's talk about this. My Neptune sits in a very wonderful place for this. And I'm being sarcastic when I say that. I'm a person who dreams up people. So no lie.
I do that too.
When I got married, and this is solely, I got married because one, it was something that was taught to me throughout my whole life. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is the way it's supposed to be done, and this is how you do it. And I bought onto that. I mean, it was strong too, but I do understand that it was supposed to be. So I only knew my husband 6 months, and we got married. I was young because I didn't like dating. I still don't like dating. I was young. And I didn't believe in love the way people spoke about it. I mean, or, the speakings of it, the way you read it, the way you see it in the movies. I didn't believe you just see somebody and fall in love. So I felt like
love at first sight. You didn't believe in love at first sight.
No, you meet somebody, you like them, you get to know them, you learn to love them at that depth.
I like courting too. I like stuff like that too.
That's dating. Yeah, not for me.
Yes.
So that's my version of dating. People think that dating is saying I'm boyfriend and girlfriend. To me, that's a commitment. A boyfriend, girlfriend is a commitment. Dating is, I can date. I don't have to be sexual. And I think that should be left out of it. But dating different people to get to know different people and say, okay, this is the one that I choose. I like options.
Yeah, it's like taking an interview, sis, almost.
Definitely. But people take dating as, oh, we're girlfriend, boyfriend. And then there's the talking stage. Talking to me is dating. Girlfriend and boyfriend at that point is, that's a commitment. That's one step before marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing that keeps marriage and dating nowadays is once you're married, there's a piece of paper that costs a lot to get that piece of paper to go away.
Heard that, sis. I've heard that.
So in a marriage, I mean, I don't think I got it right. Actually, I know I didn't get it right, but I learned a lot.
But that was the point, though, sis. That was the point. You was supposed to.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about my perception of what I thought marriage was supposed to be. These are types of things we don't really sit down and think about. These are things that we just think it's supposed to be unspoken. We all know. No.
It's true.
You learn that there are things that you need to know about a person before you commit yourself to them. And sometimes, so we were raised where you didn't know shacking. Okay, but until you
That's
shack with
true.
somebody, you don't truly know them.
True, sis. That's
So we rush into it.
that's true. And that to me, I would see a lot of people lonely. They wanna fill a void, something there. They're afraid to be alone. And you gotta find that love within so you don't have to feel that loneliness. But I know that's easier said than done in the time being. It's not gonna happen overnight. But it definitely takes practice.
And let go of the rebound situation, jumping from one person to another just to get over that last one. Feel through that last relationship. Feel through the whole thing of it.
Oh yes.
Mourn it. Let it go. See where you did right and where you did wrong. See where you could have done better. Evaluate it. If this guy and this guy were the same, why do I keep picking the same guys? Of course, all of this is in your birth chart, but why do I keep picking these guys? And understand more about you and your relationships, and then you'll see more about who you are as a person and what you're missing, because whatever you're looking for somebody else to provide, you can provide for yourself.
Okay. So, sis, anybody in a relationship or just you by yourself in general, and you need to find that peace and finding that balance in yourself, what is some examples that they can do, to do that? Meditation is good, right?
Yeah, meditation is good. A lot of self-reflection. And self is the key word. Self-reflection, not other person reflection, not co-partner reflection, self-reflection. Because self-reflection will start to reveal things. And I usually tell people, if you pointed the finger one time, then you need to reflect on yourself in that situation, because sometimes we're right, but we're not 100% right. The other person has some relevance as well. And in an argument, if you think it's supposed to be one way and they think it's supposed to be another, and you're sitting up arguing about it because you want to push, you're right on them, you should reflect on that, because they have some relevance as well. And sitting down and talking through it and finding the compromise in the middle is where a lot of relationships don't see eye to eye.
That'd be like the very stubborn part right there. Nobody wants to give in or try to, hey baby, let's work this out. Is that what?
Yeah. Another thing people don't ask themselves really is, why are you truthfully getting married? What is the
I'm hearing, sis? I'm hearing the lack of communication and something.
Oh yeah.
Like a lack
seriously.
of communication.
So it's not really the lack of communication, I won't say. Not all relationships. It's constructive communication.
Yeah. It's still a form of communication.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we can communicate. Yeah. We can sit up and talk all day long, but we're not talking. We're talking around the things that need to be spoken about. And these are things that make somebody clinch up. I don't want to talk about those things. I don't want to sit and discuss those things, or I can figure it out on my own. And a lot of times, if it's two people in the pot, two people should be figuring it out together.
Yes, very much so, sis. I agree. I definitely agree. Very much so agree. If they didn't see that growing up, they definitely wouldn't know what that is. And where to
I didn't
start.
see that growing up.
I didn't either. And and it was a lot of stuff. I remember you could feel the energy be different, and something like you could tell like something just took place before you entered the room, and like everybody just being weird. It's like this big elephant in the room. No one wants to address it.
So not all the times right then and there is time to address it. Sometimes you just say, hey, is there something wrong? And most of the time they'll say nothing's wrong, or I'm okay, or something like that. Give them time to feel it through. Say, hey, I can feel that there's something a little bit off. I'm going to give you, I don't know if you need time, but we'll come back to it if it keeps feeling this way. That way I'll give you time to see if you feel it too. But also, I'm not pushing you to talk about it right now when you're still trying to figure it out as well.
Because everybody processes it differently. There were moments where I just wanted to okay, let me walk away, because I don't feel like you're talking with me. I feel like you're talking at me, and there's a difference. I want to step away a bit. And then, the individual get offended. Then the roles will reverse, where I'm like, I want to say this now. And it was like, hey, I'm trying to walk away. We was like really mirroring each other. And that's when I learned, constructive communication, like you said, sis. It definitely does matter, because I'm a very down-to-earth person. I don't like confrontation. But if I start to feel like some sort of clenched tightness here, and I'm like, why am I feeling that? It is not my energy. What is this?
I don't know any Aquarius that likes to argue. None. It's one of the Aquarian traits. And that's just Aquarius by itself. Wherever your placements are in your personal, there'll probably be some rift there, because there's no need, really. I don't find a purpose in it. And then depending on, and this is something that I've seen in my lifetime, depending on where the Mercury sits, if the Mercury doesn't sit in the same place, the argument starts to come outside of context of what we were arguing about. And I find myself, even when I did mirror, we're arguing about stuff that happened in the past that we're not, and I'm just like, this makes no sense. I have no time for this.
Yes.
So why are we arguing? And it never settles anything. Arguments, how many people have settled anything through an argument? Exactly.
Now, unless they practice real constructive communicativeness and got some emotional intelligence,
then there won't be no argument. There's no need. We can sit down and discuss this when all of this energy has subsided, and we can discuss it the way they say adults are supposed to discuss it. But arguing, if you have all of those things, it's not necessary.
Very much so. That's very much so. And that's where you start when you are in this phase, understanding the person that you're courting, dating, however you look at it, and then you start to understand each other. Now let's start with boundaries, sis. How do you feel about boundaries? Because I do feel as that boundaries do matter in a relationship.
Once again, my Neptune sits in a really wonderful place. Boundaries, I'm true Aquarius there. It's hard for me to set them. And then wait, my Venus and my Mercury, my Venus sits in Aquarius too. So it makes me very whimsical when it comes to a relationship, especially if I can start to see it in different aspects and saying, okay, well, that can work. I'm okay with it. So boundaries are hard. I will say this. I have a strict boundary in one area, and it stays true in every situation. I cannot stand lies in no way, shape, or form, withholding information, because first of all, I feel like if I haven't asked you enough questions as an Aquarius, because I'm questioning the crap out of you, and there's no avenue for withholding information. Let's put it like that. So if you can still withhold information with all the questions that I didn't ask, then maybe I don't need to know. But lying to me takes my options away, and I'd rather have options than have them taken away from me, because I do have a right.
Okay.
So that's a very strict boundary. If I find any way, shape, or form that it looks like a lie, it starts to put rips in my relationship meter for you. And it's funny because people who say that they don't lie do the most.
What's that Lil Wayne said in his song, women lie, men lie, but numbers don't? I don't know. I was thinking of that song as you was talking about that.
Yeah, we all know in some way, shape, or form we've told some form of a lie. Big lie, little lie. If you want to call them white lies, I don't know. I don't care. A lie is a lie is a lie.
Checkmate.
And
Most
the
definitely.
problem is that I can see it.
And now, sis, when they say, "Oh, I don't lie," that reminds me, again, people don't want to see that shadow aspect of themselves
And the
in a
first
sense.
time, as soon as they say I don't lie, I say you just told one.
Right there,
You just told
right
one. You
there,
just lied.
right there, already,
Because the
already.
first thing I'm saying, if you got kids and you told your kids about the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, lies. Lies.
Several more other
So I
things.
mean, we're human. And if one human can do it, then another person has done it, will do it, or has tried it.
I say, sis. I say to that. I don't know
So
if you can hear me real good, but
yes.
it's nice and windy, and it's like my phone is like doing this right here. So I'm like, oh shit.
No, your phone is doing fine, and I can
Okay.
hear you good.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Just making sure. Just making sure. But yes, we was talking about lives. Yeah.
So answer me this: how many interdependent relationships have you seen?
Interdependent relationships have I seen. You know what? If I say, and I don't want to include recent because I don't know them that well, but I have not seen any.
Yeah. So think about all the people. I mean, and I'm pretty sure there's a few out there that have been in these types of relationships, but for the most of us in our circles, we can say we didn't. But I don't think what we seen had to always be bad. It was just somebody's version of what they thought love was to them.
Yes, that's true, sister. That's definitely true.
And then a lot of books tell people how that's supposed to be. You're supposed to get married. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. And people hold those words to be gospel.
Very much so. They are very sound values to some people. Very much so.
They were very sound to me. So I know at one point in my when I got married, it was all because of those words in that book. And life doesn't always move like that. I really hate to say that. Not for everybody. Some people were put here to have multiple marriages. Matter of fact, some people's planetary placements put them here to have a lot of kids and different people. But we shun all of that.
We don't see the actual, I ain't gonna get too spiritually too deep, but we don't see the symbology of all of that. We see what I would say, the dark side of it, the bad side of it, instead of seeing the actual light in things and stuff like that.
Yes. Because people who don't want to stay married, they're miserable just as well as people who don't stay married and have a lot of kids and all split up.
Yes. Again, I've had some stories shared, and, looking at their facial expressions and how they really feel, and they be really letting it out.
Yes.
Just like, have you discussed this with your partner? Oh, they don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about this. I can't do it. It's like, oh, honey.
Another thing is intimacy in a relationship.
Yeah. And I want to make this clear because a lot of people, I won't say a lot, some people think intimacy is just sexual. It is beyond, it's more than just that. You can be intimate in so many ways, actually.
Yes. And people don't explore these things. They think it's supposed to be one way. Once again, it's making it really cookie cutter.
So,
but these are things that need to be discussed in a relationship, or even before the relationship begins.
Yes, very much so.
But in order to have these conversations, you have to know yourself.
You do, or you gonna be like, you know what? I used to like you, but I don't no more. So you be like that because I've been in that mood before. We're like, shit. Yeah, well, this was fun while it lasted, you know. But I knew it was definitely something that I needed to tap into within myself and finally love within myself. So it's truly okay. I am I open to a new relationship? I am. That person has to be just as balanced within themselves as I am within myself.
Yes. Yeah, there has to be some wholeness. You have to be real. Not just the word in itself. You see what I'm saying? But the understanding of the word. You have to know yourself. I don't want you coming to me with mask on, because I can see them. And I don't like the first impressions, because people put on a face. I don't want to see that face. I want to see what's behind that face. I want to see what you act like when you're ugly.
So, sis, with that, I do remember I was just starting this job, and there was this lady, and I felt in my spirit, because, like you said, it had a mask. I heard a whisper in my spirit say, "Watch her." I kid you not, by the end of that rising right there, I figured out why Spirit told me to watch her. And, I did a Uno reverse type thing. And when she saw me sitting up there, the day after, and I'm just smiling, it was like she saw a ghost or something like that. Oh, yeah, yeah, I definitely understand. You can see the mask, but there are times since you can feel the energy.
Yeah, or you can see the mask slip, or you can see past it. I mean, each person has their own way of interpreting it, but some people can't at all. Some people think that that's who the person is, and we do. We have different masks. We show different faces to different people. But to the person that you're wanting to be with, spend your life with, have a relationship with, I don't really want to see the mask, because I'm not going to put one on. I'm going to tell you right up. I used to.
Be you. Be definitely you. And you know what? I did too, sis. I was very people pleaserist. Like, I would have boundaries, but they weren't solid. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm such a softy, sensitive. But I understood me.
Yeah.
I understand me then. And now
I can't say I was a people pleaser. What I can say is that I would, even if I knew that my spirit didn't like you, I would still try to like you. That's friendship wise. I like pretty things or weird things. So I was a serial dater in school. I would just date. My mom was like, you can only date 3 guys a year from now on. Because she was like, every week you're dating somebody new. I just want to get to know who they are. I'm not sleeping with them. We're not doing all of that.
That definitely wasn't me. Y'all could tell. Her Mercury is in Aquarius.
No, but I'm a Gemini rising. So yes, I was a serial dater. Hey, you can call me on the phone. That was as far as it went. Here's my phone number. You can call me. We'll talk all night. Okay, that was the extent of that, especially in school. My discipline levels are way too high. In some areas, you know what I'm saying? I get to pick and choose. But I've only been in 2 strong relationships, for real.
Me too.
Yeah, 2 strong relationships, and that spanned 14 years, one, 18 years, the second one.
Well, I'd say my first one, they weren't as long as yours, but the first one was 2 years. And the second one was definitely this last one that I was in, and that was about a year. A lot of growth and understanding yourself.
So the only reason why mine were so long is the first one I was actually married.
I remember you saying that.
The second one was a lot of learning. And the funny thing is and I'm not even upset about this. I was basically in that relationship by myself.
I've had one of those too, sis. It's okay. I can
And
relate. I was there. Luckily, that's not. Yeah, keep on.
I learned the most out of that relationship. It basically is the reason why that I'm where I am now in some understandings. And I'm okay with it. But now it's like, okay, how do I see relationships? What do I see a relationship as for me? And right now,
just Keisha, just for Keisha. That's it. You made that very clear, sis. Just with Keisha.
I'm just saying, when I find that one person who is truly energetically in my space, I'll know it, because it'll flow. It'll be easy. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but what I am saying is it'll be tolerable. When I speak, they'll understand. It won't be I was in a relationship where the person tried to say I was smarter than them, and it made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was told.
I understand that.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to hang with my friends because what will we have to talk about? And I'm just like, we talk about any and everything. And that was new for me, because I was just like, now I don't want to be sitting up here explaining everything every 5 minutes, because I did. There was somebody that I knew that was like that, and I'm talking to them, and they was like, "I'm sorry, can you explain that?" And I was like, "Oh no, this is not going to work." But
got a story. Just listen. Say your questions at the end.
No, what did I say that you couldn't comprehend? You know what I'm saying? What am I explaining?
Sis, you know your consciousness is on another level. Okay.
And that's the thing. When I'm sitting with somebody, I feel like I'm on their level.
Yes, hold on. Pause. What is this ass going to? You know what? Go ahead. I'm going to step away. I need to use the little ladies' room.
Okay.
I will be back. Enjoy the scenery.
You can pause the thing.
I wasn't sure how to do it on this phone. Hold on, let me see.
That way it'll be easy to edit out.
Okay, just.
So yeah, it was just one of those things. But different relationships have different situations. And I've noticed that being able to read the human design and, the level that I'm at, and astrology together can help people. Not all relationships have to end in turmoil.
No, they don't. They definitely don't. And my cousin had said last night, because my daughter's dad is here, to spend time with her. And he was like, I love how y'all have a friendship. I was like, oh, yeah, it's just some work. But, it was there. I wasn't tolerating certain things, i.e. boundaries, I want to co-parent. I want to have a friendship so that we can be here for our child. And I told him, we don't have to be together to be in her life. We don't have to have, he had this mindset of, we got to be together at one time. And I was like, no, we do not.
Nope.
We do not. We can still have a healthy co-parenting, friendship, relationship, and still be able to be here for our daughter.
Yes, and it should be that way if you can get to that level. Me, I like to just, I raised my kids on my own outside of my last one.
Yeah. Yes, you did say
and
that.
Co-parenting is a whole different thing, especially when two people have two way different understandings.
Very much so. Very much
yeah,
so.
and it can be hard because I ran into the situation of we can't co-parent. And the way I took it was, we can't co-parent because I won't back him on the way that he does things. And in my mentality, it could be handled differently.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I will tell the child, this is how it could have been handled differently. And this is how I would have handled it in this situation. But if you're wrong, you're still wrong. And I have to explain that to you as well. We watched our parents crash out on us when we did something wrong, and, took drastic measures. And I'm not going to lie, when I was young and had kids, younger and had kids, I was that same way, because that's the mentality you have. That's all you know.
That's what
then as I progressed, as I progressed and got an understanding, and go back into my childhood, we did some craziness, but you do it because you're learning.
Yeah, it's the start.
Yeah, you're learning. So now my daughter hates to be lectured, but I'm going to sit here and tell you, this is what you did. This is how you could have done this, or this is how you could have handled it. And if the other parent acts some type of way and I see that it could have been done a little bit differently, you have to be able to get your children to hear you.
Yes.
And also be able to teach them that the changes that need to be made in them, you've made too.
Very much so. And I will say, I would definitely give, my co-parent counterpart, his flowers, because, we do have these conversations, there could be moments where my daughter could be uncomfortable telling me something. She'll tell dad, and dad will bring it to me. Hey, baby moms, this is what baby girl feeling like. Let's talk about this, and this. Vice versa. Hey, baby dads, this is what baby girl feeling like. This, and this is this, maybe you should, talk to her this way, explain to her this. Like I had told him, I do not want friction between us, because children can see it. Even if we're not showing it, they can feel it as well. I want us to be real with her.
Yep.
If we have any differences, let's have a strong way of communicating and show her that we can do this.
It's funny you're talking about this, because me and my daughter talked about it. I said we cut our kids out of a lot of things that they should be a part of. And understanding, if a parent and another parent are having a disagreement, you want to, first of all, talk it out amongst each other, then bring the kids in and say, Mom and Dad, we were going through some things, and maybe it seemed a little bit off in here, tension, or the elephant in the room, because kids can't pick it up. Telling me we're working it out. We do apologize for taking you through this, because they can feel it. And a lot of times kids will internalize it and make it their own.
Very much so.
They're arguing or they're mad at each other because of me.
So. And we had to talk to her about that at one point. This is not your fault, baby. It's mommy and daddy. And we just coming to you and letting you know this is what's going on. That's on us. We should have did XYZ better, but we want to come to you and let you know that you're not wrong, you're not in trouble, you're not this. We want you to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think we should be a little bit more open with our kids, better communication, showing them effective and efficient communication. Because that will teach them.
Sis, when you do that, they feel much safer coming to you. Yes.
But then think of it this way. Once they get older, they'll understand how to be able to deal with these things. We didn't see it, so we didn't know, and we had to come up with it and understand that you don't have to yell and scream and act silly. People make mistakes. People do messed up stuff.
They do.
They do. And I'm a firm believer, like when my friends come to me with relationship situations, the first thing I tell them is, look, sweetheart, If you want to break up with him, then you do so. I'm going to stand by you. If you decide you want to get back with him, then you do so. I'll be right beside you, because you have to feel yourself through this whole situation. Nobody can do it for you.
It's your journey.
Yeah. The lesson will be yours to learn at the end of the day. Take it for what it is. Understand, like I said, in my last relationship, I stayed. There were things that I knew. There were things that I felt. There were things that I perceived in different ways over the years, moved, understood. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot from it about myself.
Yes, that's the important part.
Yeah, the journey of it, I understood. I understood each and every rift, how I could have done things better. I also learned that learning new things and changing takes time, because we'll be like, after about a week or two, I've changed. No, sweetheart, you haven't changed. But we don't know. Because what am I changing? What am I supposed to change? You don't want me to act a certain way. Okay, I'm not going to act that way. But you are, because it's natural at that point. I learned so much in my last relationship that although it slowed me down in my process of being with different people, dating and this and that and other, I learned a lot about myself, and I'm very comfortable with the decision I made at the time to be in that relationship.
Very much so, since you wouldn't have the wisdom and knowledge that you have at this very moment.
Yes.
I mean, you help couples, guide them based off your wisdom and knowledge. You still give them some sound, advice.
Yes.
Yes. So it was supposed to happen.
To the best of my capabilities, let's put it like that. I'm not perfect. But all my imperfections is what has helped me to be able to help other people. And that's the beauty in it. And I think that's what other people need to recognize within themselves and their partners, that we're perfectly imperfect. And we are going to make mistakes. We're going to do slip ups. Sometimes we're going to fall into our wants and needs. And if you put yourself in their shoes for a split second out of a time, yes, you're going to think that you're going to do the highest, most best thing that serves your purpose. But if you put yourself in their shoes, they're serving their own purpose as well. And at that point in time, they felt like they needed that, or whatever it was. And to understand that is, it's a lot of pain that comes behind it, to know that you had something that you really wanted and you crushed it in your hand because you was trying to hold it too tight.
Very, very much so. And that goes to what were we talking about? It was something we was talking about when we were like, people clutching,
holding the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, so tightly, and you can, make yourself. You literally can make yourself sick that way.
Yes,
you can.
Yeah.
And on this journey, I understood further. A lot of things happen in the spiritual first. Trying to get your attention, resolve this, and you keep ignoring it and pushing it away, and then it starts manifesting physically. And he was like, I don't know. It'd be something that you don't want to, either confront or admit to, whatever it is. It's something you got to release and let go.
I think a lot of times people stay in relationships because they're worried about what other people are going to say. Because finances are all tied up into each other, and it's going to be too complicated or too hard, or we're going to have to fight over this. I walked away from everything. You can have it all. I don't care.
Well, let me ask you this. When someone say, I can't walk away from this. I got too much time invested in this. What do you say to that, sis?
And out of all that time, how much time have you been miserable? And are you willing to live your life in a miserable state versus saying, you know what, we could be friends and end this on a good state? Because most people who say they have too much time, they end up leaving anyways, but they wait until there's a big blow up.
That's true.
Or they just stay and they become roommates, and you do you and I'll do me, because our finances are intertwined and I can't stand on my own 2 feet. And I'll tell people at that point, you've had all this time of friction and all this time of frustration and all this time of no communication. When do you say enough is enough and I can do all bad by myself?
All that energy you just, named off there, I'm like creativity. Something else you could have channeled this in, build your own biz, something you could have channeled that energy of frustration.
Yes, you could have started dreaming bigger for yourself.
Yes.
I mean, but I speak this way because, like I said, I stayed in a relationship that I knew I shouldn't have stayed in, that I should have got out of it, but should have. I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to stay there to learn the things that I learned. But, in a smaller understanding, it would be like, man, I should have left. I should have left. But I understand that the should haves, they weren't supposed to happen. And I broke that all the way down to the events that happened within the relationship that actually kept us together. And there's no time wasted until you know that it's time to leave and you find a reason to hold on to stay. Like time is not linear. So that time has passed and you're still counting on your past for your future. So you're just going to bring more of that past into the future.
I've been hearing that all last strong. Time is not linear. Linear. It's fun.
No, we're all on different time frames.
Yes, sister. This is some deep conversation, So I don't have anything left for us to put out on this topic.
We covered a lot.
We did. And all of you, if you do have anything, put your questions down below in the comment box. But before we sign off here, sis, is there anything you would like to say?
Enjoy the journey.
Yes, do that. It's okay to have your own interdependence in your relationship. You have to have that balance within yourself so that you can have that balanced relationship and have that solid foundation. And if you're not in a relationship, still have that balance within yourself. Find out what it is that you love. Be honest with you. Be true to you. Until then, family, find your life and then fix your crown, family. Peace.